Have you ever met the last man? I have. And probably you did too. In Francis Fukuyama's book, The End of History and the Last Man represents the final stage of human evolution, where humanity has achieved a universal, liberal democracy and capitalism. This state marks the end of history, as there are no longer conflicting ideologies or significant challenges to this system, and the citizens are characterized by consumerism, individualism, and lack of civic engagement. Friedrich Nietzsche introduced the last man in Thus Spoke Zarathustra as a cautionary symbol of the antithesis of humanity's potential that follows the collapse of higher ideals and the will to power. This figure is what remains after the decline of religion, traditional values, and the rise of modern comfort-oriented society. Nietzsche's last man lives in a world where people avoid suffering, seek security, embrace mediocrity, and reject exceptional achievement and individual excellence. Both Fukuyama and Nietzsche's concepts of the last man share a common critique of modernity, where society has lost its sense of purpose of direction and has led to a decline in human values and aspirations. This resulted in a mediocre, conformist individual who is more concerned with material comfort than with higher ideals. Still, Fukuyama viewed the last man as a natural consequence of the triumph of liberal democracy over communism and fascism, and remained relatively optimistic about the prospects of liberal democracy, seeing it as the best possible system for human flourishing. Nietzsche, on the other hand, saw the last man as a sign of general decay and decline, and was deeply pessimistic about the future of humanity. Nietzsche's book was published between 1883 and 1885. Since then, the world has experienced two major global conflicts and numerous genocides, smaller wars, and other atrocities. So what happened with liberal democracy? Fukuyama's book was published in 1992. Since that time, the world has witnessed a growing sense of disillusionment and discontent with liberal democracy, which has led to a surge in support for authoritarian leaders and ideologies. Maybe the last man is not good at appreciating, protecting, and showcasing liberal democracy. Maybe the last man is doomed to repeat history instead of helping advance the human race forward. Here is what I see in the last man. Your Nietzschean will to power has given way to will to be comfortable and entertained. Your conversations are shallow, and your aspirations in life are limited to safe and convenient choices. You are the ultimate consumer, easily distracted by flashy objects and materialistic desires. You obey the state, your social groups, and other masters without much thought, as you are not capable of standing up for something as an individual. You do not read meaningful books and do not aspire to greatness in anything. Your interests do not evolve much beyond pleasure and comfort-seeking. You view struggle in life as unfair and do your best to avoid it, even if that leads to a sense of emptiness inside. You are afraid of exposing yourself to debates and new ideas, as these may cause you discomfort. You are content to be the last man. You should care because the society dominated by the last man will inevitably decline. The last man cannot create at the scale that is needed to move forward. The last man is incapable of resisting the inevitable rise of a non-democratic alternative that will provide more meaning and hope, illusory or not, while mocking the tame and fearful individuals they seek to dominate. The last man cannot have the strength of body and spirit needed to protect own society from the enemy. Ultimately, the last man may be in conflict with human nature, where the force within, suppressed long enough, turns into a demon. Breaking out of the last man mentality requires a willingness to challenge yourself, tap into your creative potential, and forge your own path. It's a journey that demands courage, resilience, and a commitment to self-overcoming. But the reward is well worth it, a life of purpose, passion, and fulfillment that embodies the very essence of the life well lived.